Blog Talk Radio.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talent, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness sessions on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening. Grand Rising. And thank you for joining us this Monday morning, September 17th, on the Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. And let me turn up the audio because I hope you can hear me now. Welcome to Morning Mindfulness to start you off with the Mindfulness Stress Relief Session. Today's topic is engineers in heels. How a young lady by the name of Charity quit her job in aerospace at NASA. Remember the movie Hidden Figures about all the women who were doing wonderful things behind the scenes that you never knew that they were responsible for getting the American flights to the moon? Well, this young lady is one of those members of NASA who quit her job to bake cakes. Her name is Charity. She'll be coming on this hour, as well as in the 8 o'clock hour, Dr. Felice Binion of the Westside Ministers Coalition and Cook County Clerk of the Circuit Court, Dorothy Brown. Also in this hour, our executive producer, Naima Latif, who is at a peace conference in South Korea, will be joining us with a very special guest. So you stay close. If you're listening online, feel free to send in your questions, comments, or suggestions to our Facebook page, The Female Solution, as well as my personal page, Zelda Speaks. And you can join us on Twitter and Instagram. And for those who don't know, Zelda Speaks is also Zelda Robinson. Our trivia prizes today include the Mindfulness Stress Relief 21-Day Home Practice Journal or the Date, Rate, Checkmate Pre-Marriage Guide. So if you're thinking about getting married or being in a relationship, you might want to take advantage of some of the trials and tribulations that I've had, that I have had the experience of going through. So maybe you won't go through the ups and downs that I did. But, life teaches us we all have to go the route that we were destined. Otherwise, we don't learn the lessons. Now do we? And be sure and tune in to the website diabeticdonut.com if you'd like to earn money helping people improve the quality of their health. I was once a diabetic, and there were some things that I had to do and did not want to be a diabetic for the rest of my life. So if you go to diabeticdonut.com, it will help you there. If you're looking for money, ways to raise money, whether it's to make money or help your organization raise money, go to zeldaspeaks.com and click on the word training. You'll see information there on Amazon. And remember to set those DVRs for the Higher Learning Network TV show, Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 18, and 24/7 on the World Wide Web, higherlearningnetwork.org. As we always start the day out with a word of inspiration, today's inspiration is taken from Inspirational Conversations, Volumes with Shalomith Yisrael, a.k.a. Zelda Speaks, and it says, love should transcend color, culture, and race. Love really is blind, if you believe that. Love seldom comes wrapped in the package you think it should. Yes, we've all got our own idea of what love looks like. You can't put love in a picture. Love shows up just like it is, raw, uncensored, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing. Biracial children are some of the most beautiful children in the world. If you take a look at Halle Berry, Cherie Belafonte, Alicia Keys, Tiger Woods, and my cousin Natasha, affectionately known as Charlie, are all biracial children. So are millions of others. Stevie Wonder wrote a song about it entitled Ebony and Ivory. It's in the movies, books, music, everywhere you go. It's a whole new world. Funny how the enemy meant it for evil, God meant it for good. Love is. And so it is. Inspirational Conversations with Shalomith Yisrael, available at zeldaspeaks.com. Simply click on products. And be sure and listen up live. Very shortly, we'll have Dr. Naima Latif from South Korea with Dr. I'm going to try and get this name right. I'll say his last name or her last name, Anand of India at the HWPL International Peace Conference. Call in at 515-605-9325. It is 8 minutes after the 7 o'clock hour. If you're headed out this morning or preparing for work or school or whatever your day brings you, let us keep in mind that the former beloved poet, author, actor, actress, playwright, Dr. Maya Angelou says, before you face the day, that is the spirit that is within you, your creator, that is responsible for the breath that you breathe. And you armor yourself with this exercise daily before you begin your day, so that when people, places, and things and situations come into your existence, you will not be alarmed, you will not be thrown off, but you will be equipped with the tools necessary to keep you in a calm state of mind so that you can continue to be productive throughout the day. So, what we will do in the next 5 minutes is have a very short breathing exercise to help you during the course of the day. So, I'd like you to sit up straight in your chair if you can, feet flat on the floor, eyes closed, nothing in your hands, nothing in your lap, back erect, and simply a smile on your face and love in your heart. As we begin this breathing exercise, let us keep in mind that counting is crucial. You will inhale through the nose if possible to the count of 6, hold it, and then release it through the nose. We're trying to keep you breathing through the nose so that if and when an occasion occurs, you will be able to do that without any problem. And that is to help increase the the air in the lungs. Let's keep the lungs working. So let us begin. Inhale deeply to the count of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Counting to yourself. Inhale deeply. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As we are breathing, we give thanks for light, for life, for love, for energy, for health, and for peace. Even though it appears that there is none, there is. As we continue breathing into the count of 5, to the count of 6 and holding it, we give thanks as we exhale. And as you breathe, remember to feel your chest moving up and down so that you will know that you are breathing correctly. If you're breathing and your chest is not moving, is not as you inhale, then that means you're probably not breathing deep enough. So keep that in mind as you breathe and counting to yourself, and know that you are at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. As we begin with the energy from the top of our heads, as it circulates down through the top of the head, through the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the eye sockets, the lips, the chin, the cheeks, inhaling deeply. We give thanks as the energy continues to circulate throughout the neck, the shoulders, the arms. We give thanks for the breath that continues to flow through the chest, the solar plexus, the stomach. As the energy vibrates and circulates and percolates throughout the hips, the thighs, the knees, the legs, the ankles. We give thanks that we are a bundle of energy. We are a resource of energy that moves, thinks, and has its being in connection with the One. And we give thanks for that connection right now as we continue to breathe, knowing that we are at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. As we come to a close in this breathing exercise, repeat the words out loud to yourself. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. But most important, I am grateful. One more time. Inhale deeply. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. I am grateful. One more time. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. And I am grateful. Because someone somewhere cannot breathe on their own. They may have an apparatus attached to their breathing, to their lungs. So give thanks for the breath. It is the breath sustain you throughout the day. And as you take your last long inhale for this breathing session, inhale deeply and exhale, face forward. Move your head to the left, around in a circle, slowly, 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 just getting to the back, slowly, bringing the head around to the right, slowly, and back to center, chin to chest. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, reverse the head to the right, slowly, slowly, slowly around to the back, slowly, still breathing, slowly to the left, slowly, bring the head around to the front, chin to chest, head up, take a long deep breath, inhale deeply. And as you exhale, look to the left and then to the right. And take one more long deep breath. And as you release, say the word, ah. Inhale deeply. Exhale and say, ah. One more last time. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, say the word, ah. Now, how does that feel? I hope it feels good enough for you to practice it in times of chaos and confusion when situations and circumstances encounter your well-being to throw you off, but you can immediately begin to breathe in. You don't have to take 5 minutes to do the breathing exercise. You simply start breathing very long inhale and exhale, and people will look at you if you are crazy, but it's okay because that is your protective mechanism to keep you centered and focused throughout the day. And if you should happen to have a little garlic or onion on your breath, that will help, and they will very well move away. Monday morning mindfulness on the Female Solution. Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. If you'd like to join the conversations this morning, the lines are open at 515-605-9325. And remember to press 1 to speak. We will be joined this morning by our executive producer, Dr. Naima Latif, who is live on the air with us now live from Seoul, Korea. Grand Rising.
Yes, Grand Rising. We always say Grand Rising on the Female Solution. Can you hear me okay?
Hear you very well. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay. What's it like there in Seoul, Korea, and what time is it there?
Well, we're actually in Incheon, which is another city about an hour and a half away from Seoul. And we are 14 hours ahead of you, so it is 9:18 p.m. And we just left a dinner with Director Shin-Suk Kim, who, of course, is the Chicago director of HWPL. And we had a wonderful session here today, the beginning of the World Conference, and many religious leaders have gathered. Today, there was a session held in which a number of leaders discussed strategies for world peace. That is the focus, and one of the strategies of HWPL has been to gather with those various faith leaders, believing that if we all can at least agree that our Creator has made us one human family, that even with our diverse religions, we should be able to come to a common agreement. So with me today is a very special person that I'd like to introduce to our listening audience. He is Dr. Opasaka Anban, director of the Tripitaka Tamil Foundation, and that is Chennai, India, in Chennai, India. And I've just learned, which I was not aware, and now I know, that the Tripitaka is the Buddhist scripture. We know about the Holy Bible, know about the Holy Quran. Now we know about the Buddhist book of scripture, which is the Tripitaka. And Tamil is the language of India, so this organization has been translating the Tripitaka, the Buddhist scripture, into the Tamil language, and that is to spread the good news, the teachings to the people of India. And we know that when people receive religious scripture, they become transformed because they are enlightened. So that is what his organization has been doing. And so I'd like to give him an opportunity to speak to our listening audience. We had a chance to hear our international greeting and know that the people of India have also been greeted this morning. And if I may, Dr. Anban, say welcome to our show. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, welcome. Hello.
Good morning.
Now,
Welcome.
if I may, I'd like to ask, for them it's morning, yes. We're sitting here looking out the window where it's dark. So I have to remember you all are in daytime. And so we're calling you from the future. But now let me ask you, Dr. Anban, how many years have you been involved in HWPL?
For the past 2 years, I'm with HWPL.
Yes. Now, last year I had a chance to speak with a woman from India, and she was saying one of the things that she tackled as a problem which maybe had an impact on peace was the economic situation and the disparity between the very extreme poor and the wealthy. And so she worked with helping women create businesses.
Mm-hmm.
What does the scripture of the I'm going to get this word right. Tripitaka.
Yeah.
What does it teach about how we should live in terms of sharing so that there is not a large group of poor people? What does the scripture teach as a philosophy?
So actually, the Tripitaka is an ethical, how you live ethically.
Ethically, how you live.
So it is a way of life. Buddha's teaching is a way of life. Everyone, not only for Buddhists, it is for all religion, all human beings. So it is ethical living.
So what does it teach in terms of its ethics about the rich and the poor? How do you make sure that people have what they need?
Yeah. It is actually, they call it 5 precepts. 5 precepts is refrain from killing, refrain from stealing, refrain from sexual misconduct, refrain from lying, refrain from taking intoxicants. So it is moral living.
Moral living. So what we find, and you know, Zelda, what we find with HWPL is that every religion has as its base moral teachings, that if we all followed them, we would not have these problems. The question is, why aren't we following them? But, you know, many people don't realize the vast number of people in the world that are Buddhists that have access to teachings that give us guidelines. So, Dr. Anban, what are some of the things that you have worked with through HWPL in spreading this ethical teaching?
Actually, it is with World Alliance for Religious Peace. So I am with religious group. So for HWPL, we are doing meeting with our different religion, interfaith meeting.
Yes.
And we continuously organizing and our HWPL team so online discussion about different titles. So for afterlife, before life.
Yeah.
So like that, what the teachings of your religion. So like that, we have 20-25 meetings every month. We are having a meeting with online. to have an understanding between religions.
So how many
religions, the positive
the
understanding.
positive understanding. So how many other religions are there in India?
India, so many religions.
So
But leading and HWPL is connected with Sikh religion, Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism, Islam, Christian. Hinduism.
And Hinduism. And, one of the things that we read about is conflict in religions and I don't know if it really is conflict between the ethnic groups that are in the religion, or is it conflict between the cultures within the religion? What do you see as causing, for those people who are in conflict because they are in different religions, what are the reasons why they are in conflict with each other? Is it because of different beliefs, or is it because of different way of life, or is it because they happen to come from different families? Maybe one group is of a wealthier class and the other one is a poorer class. What is actually the problem?
Education. Education is not properly
distributed.
Yeah. So education is must to understand everything. So they are all very much with Hindu religion, and there is no proper understanding. Always fight for some gain or pain.
So who tends to be the group that's most educated?
So Christianity, well-educated people. They provide Christian people who ruled earlier before the independence of India. Mm-hmm. The British people. They established so many shops for the Indian people. And the educational institution, most of the educational institutions, even now, under the Christian leaders. So Christian leaders only provided education
for Christian people.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to not giving other people who were not Christian access to knowledge.
Yes.
That creates conflict.
To the extent of the Christian people. So they have a good job now after having studied well in their institution, and every opportunity was given by the Christian community in India particularly.
Mm. Yes. Well, one of the things that I'm learning here in South Korea, Zelda, one of the things that I'm learning as an American, that there are a lot of things that happen in other countries that are not right. Things that are done in terms of the economic discrimination or educational discrimination, social discrimination. And so people are not happy with how those from Western nations have taken over things. And Americans often project other people as perhaps, being terrorists or unsafe or, illegal immigrants. But I think one of the things that we must do is to hear the other side and understand why people are angry, why people don't trust Americans, and what the American citizens need to change in our ethical treatment of other people. Because often it's the Western nations, America, Great Britain, those nations that cause conflict by creating an economic disparity. So when immigrants come looking for opportunities for jobs, and we look at them and get angry and say they're taking all the jobs, but do we know that Americans have come to their country and taken all the jobs? Do we know that Americans have come and taken an educational system and
medical supporting health
and health care, and not given access
and religious practice?
Yes,
they built so many churches that teach the Bible teachings.
So I know this happens in a lot of places where if if they establish a Christian school, and if someone
not only school, they establish college, university.
So they will say, in order to come, you must convert to Christianity. Is that what they say? Does that cause a lot of people to maybe change their family name in order to westernize it so they can get into school? Yes. So these are the things that are happening. So now I know you've got to a commercial break. And I know your guest is going to come on. Is it possible we can spend a few more minutes after the break, with your permission?
Sure. Absolutely, positively.
Okay. Well, all right. So I'll give you an opportunity to get to our commercials, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about some of the things that HWPL is doing to educate and inform and create peace. We'll do that.
Okay. And our 7:30 guest is already on the line, so if we could do that in just a few minutes, in 5 minutes or less, that would be greatly appreciated, because we've got 3 other guests lined up this morning. And if you just tuned in this morning, you're listening to The Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks, Monday Morning Mindfulness. Coming up, we'll have our guest, Miss Charity, a NASA engineer who quit her job to bake cakes. But we also have the executive director of the Female Solution, that would be Naima Latif, along with her very special guest, as she is live coming from Korea, Dr. Aban in India. He lives in India, I should say, from India, but they're in Seoul, Korea right now at the HWPL Peace Conference. So you stay close and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is John Alexander.
And I'm Naima Latif. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world.
Big difference.
Watch us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/The Media Connection TV.
YouTube it. We'll see you soon.
There are people who choose to make a positive difference in the world. Our job is to bring you their stories to motivate you to do the same. Join us each week, host John Alexander and Naima Latif, as we bring you the educators, entertainers, elected officials, religious leaders, and community activists whose works are transforming this world. Find out how you can make a difference too. Be inspired. Watch The Media Connection.
Mondays at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 12 noon on Cable TV, Channel 19 in Chicago. And other cities, check your local cable listings.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Community and police need to come together again. Police need to walk the streets, get to know the citizens. They can ride the buses, the L, the subways, and once again, become the officer friendly we always hear about. Police are the front line between us and the criminal element. As mayor, I will begin program to assure they will get to know us as our neighbors.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
And thank you for joining us back here on the Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. And our executive director, Dr. Naima Latif, who is speaking live from Korea at the HWPL Peace Conference with Dr. Aban from India. Did I get that name right, Naima? Anban.
Anban.
Anban. Excuse me, Dr. Anban.
Good evening. Good morning.
Yes,
Good morning. Good evening. We're all over the world, so we're speaking to people all over the world. So thank you for joining us from Korea this morning. You were saying, Naima, your question you posed
one last
before we
question. Yes, one last question I'll pose to Dr. Anban is, what are some ways that HWPL there in India, with all of the various religions and inequality between the people, what are some of the ways that HWPL is helping in the, I guess you'd say, the unified effort to make sure all the people are treated fairly, and that the equality that is expressed in their religious scriptures is being enacted in the society? How is HWPL able to help with that?
So in fact, HWPL, I came to know from the website. So after that, one of the group contacted me, my website.
Yeah.
And like that, we had continuously working for me. So because the peace, Buddha teaching is ultimately for the peace.
Yeah.
Because his teaching is, we call it noble truth. The four noble truths.
Four noble truths.
Yeah, four noble truths is there is suffering. He was telling there is suffering. There is reason for the suffering. The suffering can be
relieved. Okay, so how do you relieve suffering in the world? You have, because India has a very, very large population and a very ancient population, probably many long-term, divisions.
Yes.
How do you relieve suffering?
Suffering, social depression, casteism. So is the Brahmin and Vaishya, Sudra. So all these different of, particularly religion. It is not in other religion. There is no casteism.
Yes.
So Hinduism preaching and accepting the casteism, the division of labor, we call it. Different. So labor means, so this job, this community, this job, this community, this job, this community, like that. Brahmins can do only
top, right?
Top one.
Right.
It's like that. Even the lost people, lowest people, not allowed to study in the school for some time back, not now. So that is a kind of suffering.
So that's what has to be released. So Zelda, before we go, and I know a lot of our listeners may be familiar with Mahatma Gandhi and his move to end the caste system and his nonviolent method, which, as we know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. modeled a lot of his activities, because we in America have an undeclared caste system. It was based on race and color. So this is a global problem where you have people who are denied access to economic resources and education, being stuck in those positions and not allowed to ascend, and therefore it creates suffering, as Dr. Anban is telling us. So that's one of the things that we look to the religious community to alleviate, is to teach people the original word of God, you might say, the teachings that say all people are created equal and all people have the right to self-expression and self-development. And so this is the challenge that we face, and this is what we hope to see transformed here in these 3 days here in Korea. where we meet with people all over the world who are working in their communities to help make a difference. So we want to thank you for lending the airwaves to us this morning, and ask our listeners to listen in to, tomorrow, a few moments on creating solutions with Mama Joy, and we'll have another guest that will be talking about the peace schools and how that concept is being promoted, how we can teach our children a different philosophy of living and begin to transform the world we live in. So thank you so much, Zelda. We appreciate you so much for giving us time, and invite people to follow us on Facebook. We'll be posting various information, and hope to send you some live videos tomorrow. We will actually be at a major ceremony, and we want to give you glimpses of just how massive this is. So follow us on Facebook. We'll be posted on my Facebook page and also on the Female Solution Facebook page, so you can follow what's happening in this global peace movement. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Naima, for being the gracious host that you are and bringing us Dr. Anban from the HWPL Peace Conference in Seoul, Korea. We are international, we are global, and we are most grateful for our listening audience this morning. If you would like to join the conversation, we'd love to have you at 515-605-9325. But right now, we're going to open up the lines for our special guest this hour, and that would be our very own Charity, who quit her NASA engineering job to bake cakes. Grand Rising. Good morning, Charity. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Zelda. How are you?
I'm wonderful now that we have you on the air. Tell us this fascinating story and how it all got started. When I first saw that, I said she quit her engineering job. She did what? Please explain to us how that came about.
Well, I didn't really quit to make cake. Well, I'm from the D.C. area, so I did some work at Goddard Space Flight Center. I have a bachelor and a master's in aerospace engineer, but worked on several projects, and it was time for me to get married. Don't get it wrong, I didn't quit for love either. But I just, my husband, it was long distance. He was here in Chicago, and I was in Maryland, and we got married, and I stayed in D.C. for 9 months after we got married, and just looking for a job in the Chicago area. The problem was that I had 8 years of concentrated space flight experience on my resume, and it was so hard for me to get hired in the Chicago area. So since 2007, where I applied, I've been applying for jobs. It just wasn't turning out, but everywhere else. So I just decided, I told my boss, I'm moving. Can you do something for me? So they sent me to training, and eventually they're like, that's all we can do for you. Good luck. I said, oh, my goodness. But shortly, one of my managers came to me like, hey, you're a good employee. You should be with your husband, so I'm going to do my best to see what we can do for you. In February 2010, I was able to work from home from Chicago for 2 years. And they flew me back and forth to Goddard. And I had my little child, my daughter, and we flew back and forth. By the time she was 1, we flew about 10 times back and forth to Maryland. And eventually, it just got overwhelming. And when I was pregnant with my second child, I had him. And after the maternity leave, I just didn't go back to work. So it was more just to stay home. It was to be a stay-home mom. So I congratulate and applaud moms that work and work full-time and raise a family. And it's just something that I wanted to, I give my 100% in what I do. And I just, was encouraged since I was young from my mom to consider staying home with the kids when they're young and just instilling them our values and beliefs. And so my husband and I, we weren't rich. We weren't rich at all. I was making $20,000 more than what my husband was making. And we took the cut and we learned to shop at secondhand stores. We learn to just, if we don't have it, we don't have it. And so, but what that has taught me, my husband is very good with money. So he managed money. We rarely had money fights, but because I knew this is what our intention was, and I really knew that this is what God wanted me to do. So, so I did that for 5 years.
For 5 years. So
yes.
you were one of those hidden figures that movie was about. You may not see it that way, but yeah.
No, I was inspired by Hidden Figures to do more with my years sitting here as a stay-at-home mom. I was very inspired. Well, before that, to bring in the cake, while I was home, that's where I was, I wanted to do things that will save money. I'm here, I want to celebrate my kids, I want to celebrate my husband, their achievement, but cake costs a lot if you want a fancy one. So I just took a class at Michael's. It's just to bake cake for my family. But then before I was done with the class, they asked me to be a teacher and instructor of Michael's here at Evergreen Park, and I did that for a year. And I figured, you know what, people buy my cakes, so let me just sell them.
Wow.
So that's how that one came about.
And as a result of that, you transitioned into other projects that are not only helping you and your family, but families across the world. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, Hidden Figure came out January 2016, or 17, I believe. Yes, 2017. Hidden Figure came out last year. I took my kids, and, NASA, I'm so excited about it. But, the history that was embedded in that movie that I never knew, and I worked in NASA for 10 years. And I cried throughout the movie at how these women went through so much so I can have opportunity to work for NASA. I sat there like, Lord, what do you want me to do? I need to reach out. I need to reach out to the community. These ladies put their life for me to have this opportunity. I believe I have a great story to tell, and I have and I believe young people need to hear it, especially young girls. And so I did that. I put it out on Facebook January. And then before you know it, a friend said, hey, do you want to come and speak at our school? They're looking for an aerospace engineer. I was like, sure. So, I mean, like literally 2 weeks after that movie, that thing started rolling. And eventually I realized that, you know what, there's a story that needs to be heard that young people can relate to right now because they see me in their community. Why not do that? And so I got a job. I got a part-time job as a technology teacher. I was looking for a job. It's hard to get back in the field after you left for 5 years. I didn't know. I had no idea how difficult it is. So trying to get back into the field. My son was going through first grade, and I'm looking for a job. Nope, you've been out too long. I'm like, Lord, this is not happening. So I decided to apply for a technology instructor at a private school. Mind you, I'm not a certified teacher. I'm an engineer, not a teacher. But I've always taught whatever I knew. So my principal was very impressed, and she hired me to be a technology teacher at Korea's elementary school. It's all white, and I'm literally the only black person in the school. And so my principal was like, okay, we need diversity, so come on board, please, also, and teach these kids diversity. More so, teach them technology also. But God has used that to open so many doors. Because of that, I've learned that in my own community, my kids were missing out. My own children were missing out in their school of learning certain things, learning coding, computer coding. And yes, I come home and teach my kids, but my neighbors and their friends don't know it. And so last year, I went to the principal of my kids' school. I was like, what's going on? I'm teaching this to other people's kids. How come my kids don't know this? And, she gave me a reason. I said, okay. So I told her, I'm going to start this in the community because our community is more minority. We have 4 quadrants where we live at, and this quadrant is full of minority. But all the other 3 quadrants, we're having these in their schools. And so I was really offended by that. I was like, because we're Black and Spanish and African, what's going on? And so I just took upon me and opened Engineers in Heels. Engineers in Heels is we're working for a 501c license to be a nonprofit, and we just literally go to the library and teach coding, teach STEM, and that's how we started at first, during winter breaks. And I told the principal, this is what I'm doing for the community, since our student did not have that. So she was very excited about it. She put out the word throughout the time we did it was January this year. We just started this year, January 2nd, 4-day camp. And we were able to have 12 students, paid 12 students, and 4 unpaid. Why we had to be paid? Because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and all this stuff I'm buying. So my husband was like, okay, it's going to work, but we don't have.
Okay.
And it was totally understandable. And so I had to charge those who can afford it. And those who can, that came to me, said, just come on in. And eventually, so we did that. We did another one in March, and we had this one, 37 students now. And I put it on LinkedIn, and somebody on LinkedIn was like, you're doing such a great job. I'm going to buy 10 seats for any student for any school. Yes, and the tickets were $75 for 4-day camp. And
$75?
He put on, yes, per student. He bought 10 tickets.
Oh, my
plus the
goodness.
processing fee. So he paid about $800, and that was our first major donation. And I said, wow, Lord, then we got to keep pushing it. And we were able to do in two places, Oakland and Evergreen Park Public Library. And then I decided to go to Nigeria. And I said, you know what, let me take this overseas and see if it's going to work. Before I put any license, before I put any label to it. And we did. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. We went from school to school knocking, asking principal, hey, we got this going on. But even before that, we sold cupcakes. We sold cakes. We sold cupcake bouquets for us to be able to get our plane tickets. We bought 10 robots to take to Nigeria. We bought a lot of kits to take to Nigeria, and it was cupcakes. It was the cakes that I sold. And even meeting you was through cupcakes. So growing up, coming to Chicago as a stay-at-home mom, not working outside, not being a student anywhere, my circle of friends were pretty limited. And I was always saying to myself, how am I going to meet people to start something? But in the process of selling cupcakes, it's just trying to alleviate, some financial strain in my home. I was able to meet people, interact with people, tell them what I'm about, tell them my vision, tell them my desires, and God just opened doors through that. And so it's funny how cakes, and people would look at me like, you're an engineer. But it had led me to so many opportunities that is beyond baking cake. So.
And the opportunities will continue to flourish because you are doing not only something but for your family, but for families across the planet. And then getting other people involved. You said when you went on LinkedIn, what's the number one thing that a person can do in order to get involved if they have money, and even if they don't have money? How could?
Okay, so right now we're with the effort in Nigeria, which is the more we went there and we saw kids that did not have tables and chair. You can see more of that on our Facebook page. It's Engineers in Heels. So Engineers in Heels, like stiletto heels, because we're female engineers, and just educating, especially other female young girls, to let them know that you too, you can be a sassy, not sassy per se, but you can be a princess. You can be, being an engineer doesn't have to be that you have to be a tomboy. And that was the goal. You can still wear your long hair, be pretty, have your fingernails done, have your eyelashes done. You can do that and still be an engineer and still be able to function and speak up for yourself in a man's dominated field.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I counter, I was only the only black and women at a lot of the projects I worked at. So it can be intimidated, but we tell you, like, look, it's cool. It's cool to be yourself. So with that, we were able to reach a lot of girls not just girls though, but the schools in Nigeria, and they did not have tables. The particular school we adopted, they didn't have tables or chairs. The place was molded. The school, it had molds all over. The boys and girls are sitting on the floor learning computer coding from me. And I'm sitting there like, your immediate needs need to be met. And for me to feel comfortable that I'm doing something that's going to go further, we need to provide tables and chairs for that school. And so we started a GoFundMe to just get tables and chairs. It's called 100 School Benches for Nigeria. It's on GoFundMe. You can find that. You can just go to GoFundMe Engineers in Hills. But we're trying to spread, that's for Nigeria. But here, we find out that in the city of Chicago, we just had a speaking engagement on Saturday, and we realized how much even educating the parents of our young black kids that it is okay to push them in these fields. Yes, you might not have seen an example, yes, you might not understand what these fields are about, but don't be afraid to also educate yourself because internet is everywhere. So the same way we can download apps on our phone, we can Google what takes an aerospace engineer, what kind of degree or what kind of background do an aerospace engineer need, or to pursue an aerospace engineer career, or to pursue a chemical engineer career. So we learned that a lot of the parents are afraid to encourage their kids in this field because they don't know much about it themselves. And so our goal now also, yes, to educate, go into these inner cities and just educate the parents like, okay, yes, you don't know, but it's nothing wrong that you don't know because you weren't exposed. But it's very wrong for you not to go extra miles to expose your child. A lot of things, it's not just financial because a lot of company, even ourselves, we take more free students that can do it, that can afford. We take more of that than those who can pay. And as soon as we got to get a 501c on, because then we can get funded. Right now, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I could not get 10 robots on my own without, getting extra funding. So those kind of things. So what we need our listeners to do, please, if you can donate, it'd be awesome. We're trying to get into the cities. We're looking to the thing is, once a young girl or young black boy see somebody that looks like them, they get motivated. They get motivated and almost can speak their lingo, and can understand that, hey, I came from a background that, of poverty, but I worked hard and I had mentors around me that can help me. So that's a great, connecting us to companies that can help us, connecting us to individuals. We like to go and talk to communities or to churches and let them know that, hey, we got these programs for you. And not just we have this program, but it's successful. We are successful engineers that and they too can be.
And anything really is possible. And you bring up a very important point, is that the children need to see someone in order to see themselves in that position. I remember one of the mottos for a men's organization, I can't think of the name of it, but their tag was, in order to be a man, you have to see a man. So in order to see an engineer in heels, in order to be an engineer in heels, you need to see an engineer in heels. And that's quite a fascinating story. And it just also shows, Charity, that you can have more than one passion in life. You don't have to do just one thing for the rest of your life because you have many gifts, talents, and abilities. And this is just a few of them. What's been your greatest challenge with this program?
Well, I believe my greatest challenge right now is really getting the word out. It's my little circle here is, we're excited about it. But like I said, I'm just getting into the society, honestly. I was a stay-at-home mom. We relate with the stay-at-home mom group and my church group. But now just meeting people and putting myself in front of people and saying, hey, we have a great program. We can partner up with you. We can, getting the word out there. And, commercials, but then it comes with a fee. So money and exposure is what our greatest challenge right now. But, I'm not worried. Everybody takes baby steps. And this is our baby, so I'm not stressing over that. I know that in time, God is bringing people like yourself, Zelda. I think since I started baking, 2004. No, sorry, not 2004, 2014. That's when I met you at your studio. So, and I do my best to just try to keep in touch because I know my pool of people is limited since I was a stay-at-home mom. But right now, it's open wide, and I go to vendor fairs for my cupcakes, and I meet aldermen, I meet lawyers, I meet all sorts of stuff, people that can, and I say, hey, this is what I'm doing. What can you do for us, please? How can you help us? Because our young people does need help. And yes, there's several programs out with STEM related. There's several. And I think what I've also learned is that sometimes it's okay to partner up with somebody, if somebody has done it. And I know we all want to be the top, and in time you can be. But right now, as we're starting, we don't mind partnering up with another group that has done it and just work together. The point is to get these young people exposed. And we don't have territories. This is my territory. We don't have that. As much information they can get, that's good. So I'm willing to partner with whoever and bring ideas together. Like, hey, I know this about, because when I speak, one good example, a student came. A mom brought a brother to my camp, and then the older brother tagged along, and he was so upset that mom would bring him along to this thing, to the camp, and he wanted to be home by himself playing video games. He's in 6th grade, and I asked him, well, you're here, just get a computer. He's like, nope. I said, okay, you're in my class, you will get a computer. He said no, and so eventually he changed his mind and got a computer. But he gave me the worst attitude the first day, and I was like, what's going on? My mom forced me to come here. I'm like, it's free. Just make use of it. Later on, I come to find out he wants to be a football player or basketball player. And I asked him, what position do you play now? I don't play now. What makes you think you'll be a football player when there's people that goes to camp from 5 years old? And you're in 6th grade, never been to a camp, doesn't play, you don't have a position. What? He's like, well, I just know I'm going to be a football player. And I looked at Mom like, Mom, he was never exposed to other options. And that's the problem we have with our young kids. They're never exposed to other options. We have other races that go to robotic camps. They go to space camp. They go to this camp. But we don't do that. Because we don't do that, our kids are not exposed.
Until today. Until today. Yes, ma'am.
Until today. And exposure builds interest. Yes. If you never expose your kids, they're going to be very limited. And when it's time to go to college, there will be very limited options for them. And we have Engineers in Hills has callers waiting on the line at area code 312-802 and 773-994. Charity, we got to take a commercial break right quick, and they probably have some questions for you, so stay close. You're listening to The Female Solution, a Monday morning mindfulness, higher learning with Zelda Speaks, and a NASA engineer who quit her job to bake cakes. Stay close. We'll be right back.
We have an opportunity to transform the whole global society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com.
Hi, this is Beata, your holistic life coach. Every Friday morning, I'm on The Female Solution. I'm also blogging live every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Soul Purpose Healing, where I help you get back into alignment with the Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. On Sunday, you can call in at 215-383-5863 or go to www.blogtalkradio.com/soulpurposehealing. When I'm not doing spiritual adjustments on Blog Talk Radio, I'm helping clients reduce the stress in their lives with EFT, essential oils, and cost-saving health plans like AmeriPlan. AmeriPlan is a better way to save money on your health care expenses. There is more information on how to contact me at www.yourholisticlifecoach.com. Till then, stay in joy.
Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down to earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul, whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com.
While taxes do provide the funds to pay for our services, high taxes can drive business out of our city. Residents then go out of state to buy gas because our gas taxes are so high. And when they buy gas, they stop and buy many other items. Lowering gas taxes will keep those residents and dollars in our city.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Mayor.
You're listening to The Female Solution, Higher Learning, with Zelda Speaks on blogtalkradio.com. The Female Solution, how a NASA engineer quit her job to bake cakes. It's called Engineering in Heels, and the young lady who is responsible for that, her name is Charity. Thank you so much for Charity for hanging in there with us. We know you've got about 5 minutes because you have to get your children ready for school, but we're going to go to the phone lines at 312-802. You're live on the air on The Female Solution. Good morning, Grand Rising. Hi, who's this and where are you calling from? Grand Rising, you are live on the air, area code 312-802. Okay, maybe you stepped away, so we'll...
Good morning. I'm so grateful for the programming this morning, and hi, Naima.
This is Zelda. Yes, ma'am.
You're doing a great job. But the thing is, for this young lady, I'm listening to her story, and I want to encourage her and let her know that many of us are hidden figures in the community as women. I, for one, am, and I claim it. But my point to you is Let me ask you, since you're in Chicago, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, real quick. When I lived in Hyde Park, they had a program over there at the Park District. A lot of people don't know when you have a 501c3. I know I ran an organization. You can go to the Park District and you can do things there. At that moment when I started in 1990, they had just stopped charging. I don't know if they're charging now. It's been a long time. Well, I want to say to you, you can go to the Park District. There was a program that I found out about, so my husband and I paid for it. Listen to me now. And we wanted, my grandson was very smart. I've got two. And this particular one, we asked him, did he want to go to a particular 1 week class? We paid $300 because we were like that. We feel that, as you say, we need to have these children be educated, look at their talent, look at their skills. So he went for 1 week, and he got the education right over there, 49th and Drexel, not Drexel, but Dorchester over there in the park over there. So I'm saying to you, that may be an option for you. That 501c3 will definitely open up a lot of doors for you.
Many doors.
And donations. So I just want to encourage you. This is Minister Cynthia Marie Williams. Been there, done that, and I care about our educational system does not guide our children. I've been a part of CPS into thinking like we want them to think. It's not just the parents also, but our educational system does not teach us as a people of color what we can go into that's different entrepreneurship. So I want to say that to you. I've done my part and still am. But you continue, my darling, strong and being led by the Spirit of the creative source.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mama Joy. You can join her tomorrow morning, Creating Joy with Mama Joy on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, 7 until 9 a.m. Yes, she's on every Tuesday morning. She's our new host, and she is so full of love and joy. We greatly appreciate her and having her on the team. As we go to the phone line, we've got another caller. You've got about 3 minutes. I know you've got to go at 8:15. So we're going to take this next caller, 773-994, Grand Rising. Good morning. You're live on The Female Solution. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Grand Rising. Yes, this is Mama Joy, Creating Solution, Mama Joy. Thank you so very much for your guest. I know on a couple of minutes, but I am so encouraged, so inspired, so energized by your presence. You know, not just my daughter. I'm going to encourage my daughter to get the archive of this, Wanda, because my daughter, she just changed her career. She was a special education teacher. She said she couldn't take the classroom anymore. She decided to go into computer engineering. And throughout her whole studies at DePaul, she was the only female black there, and very rarely were any classes with any other females. And so when she finished, and she's been struggling trying to find a position here in Chicago. So when our young engineer, cake baking, muffin baking, young lady comes on this morning, I'm so, all I can think about is Chris Rock saying the power of the pot, and here she comes with the power of the cupcakes, and I say, oh, man, that's something about, women taking on their ownership of their own creativity. Look at here. This young lady is a mother. She is a wife. She is an engineer. But she's also God-inspired, led. And I'm so encouraged by her God-centeredness and her boldness and just speaking on it in such a general way, but yet it is the core of what she's doing, and it's in love. And I just wanted to let you know, honey, I am your circles of you have so many principles operating. Wanda, I wish we could have had her for the whole session, but you got to come back, honey. You got to come back because our children, our family need to understand that there is power when you make a decision God gives to you. Go back. That family is the core, and you're changing family life. And you're not only affecting local, but you're going global as well. And that's what it's all about. I had a lot of questions, but Wanda, kudos to you and your guest this morning, honey. That's the thing. I say NASA They say, well, I can remember when say, hey, we got a problem. No, we got a solution here. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you, Charity, for being the gift that you are with us today and blessing us with this program, and for all of our listeners who want to get involved and help make this an event, but make this happen in communities all over the world, because we need more engineers in hills. Can you give us a closing thought before you leave us to take care of your mommy duties today? It's 8:15, and I know you got to go.
Well, like, our mission is really just to, provide authentic STEM programs, and we feel that if we don't take the steps in our own community, nobody really will, and nobody will really understand. There's a lot of programs out there, but our young people need to see us in those positions. And you can preach all you want to, but if you're not walking the shoes, it's not going to influence anybody. It's just going to drop some. And that's why I realized that I can take my experience, I can take my plaques, I can take my pictures of shuttles, of the projects I did, and present to a young person, and their eyes lit up. So we're working with the students, our young people, but our parents. It's the whole community, to let them know that they are gifted just as well, and they can do it. And hey, somebody like you have done it, you too can do it. So I thank you so much, Zelda, for having me on here. And anytime in existence, I'm willing to come back. God bless you all.
And thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and getting the children ready this morning and being the true spirit, our own Hidden Figures. Engineers in Heels is the name of the organization that will help your children be top flight, so to speak, and in the arena of aerospace. Can I say that? Moving forward, it's in order for them to be that which they want to be, they have to see that in which they want to be. And our next guest is one of those women who is making waves in the Chicagoland area. You probably know her. She's been in office forever, and I am honored to have her on the line. She is the Cook County Clerk of the Circuit Court in the state of Illinois. And you may know her as the one and only I'm thinking of Dr. Benya. That would be Dorothy Brown. Grand Rising and good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning, Dorothy.
Good morning, Zelda. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. We're discussing this morning women in the community, the female solution, what we can do and how we do it to make this world a better place in order for all of us to live. You have been in office for a while. I remember back in the day when I was at Gospel Radio 1390, and I had the chance to interview you, and you were such a sweet spirit. And I had no idea of the area of commitment in which you serve in City Hall. Can you tell us a little bit about how this whole journey started for you?
Wow. Yes, Zelda. I decided in the late 80s that I, had a commitment and really some special gifts to administrate and organize, and I needed to give that to more people. I've been doing it for a number of years, working in the philanthropic arena, helping many people. And it just, and I've also been blessed with a great academic background. And I just realized that I could not just sit on it. I needed to offer that to more people. And I decided that was public service. and I needed to be in public service. And so but I did not want to run for public office unless I was an attorney. Now, I thought I may be a legislator, like a state rep or a congressperson or something like that, and I felt that if I was going to make the law, I should know the law. Now, mind you, by that time, I was already held a CPA, and I also had an MBA from DePaul University. My undergrad is, I'm proud to say, it's from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and HBCU school. And I already had that, but I still felt that I needed to be an attorney. So I took the time at age 38 and went to law school. And I went to law school at Chicago Kent College of Law. And I always tell young people that we need to make sure that we're prepared for whatever we want to do. Take the time to get prepared, and then you'll be in a position to help, more people and to offer more when you put yourself out to the public arena. And so once I did that and I finished law school, graduated with honors, I then started looking at what I was going to run for, and made the decision to run for city treasurer of the city of Chicago in 1999, and almost won that race. I was running against a 12-year incumbent, had never run for public office before. No one knew me in Chicago, and put together a campaign committee who just simply helped get my name out there, and a lot of different things happened during that race. And we almost won. It was 49 to 51%, and she was a 12-year incumbent. And after that election, a lot of people approached me and said, "Oh, my goodness, we didn't know you. We didn't know how qualified you were." And we just simply passed on that race because we didn't want to elect her, or we didn't know the person that was running against her. But you ran such a great and positive campaign. You talked about the issues. You did not talk about the other person, even though she, at the time, she was had just been indicted for doing some wrong things with the office itself. And so people said, run for something else and we'll make sure that we vote for you. And so I decided that I wasn't running for offices for the sake of running for offices. I wanted to run for something that I could make a difference in, that I could really get the job done. And so I got the research. I had people give me research for various offices. They gave me the research for the clerk of the court. And I said, this is something that I could do well in. I think I can make a difference in. And because it's has a legal aspect to it, and I'm an attorney, it's like a multi-million-dollar corporation, though. It's $100 million budget. Over $100 million budget. It has its own accounting department and information systems department, human resources department, payroll, public information, and then 17 different divisions, court operation divisions running the court system all over the county. I have 21 different locations. And I said, this is like it's like you're a CEO of a major corporation. I said, I think that I can use my skills for this. And so I decided to run for clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. And at that time, of course, it was a countywide position. Even though I'm a proud Democrat, was not endorsed by the Democratic Party, but I ran for it anyway against three people that were already elected, have been elected, have run campaigns for years, and I went up against them. And I won that race because people judge me by the content of my character and not the color of my skin. They were three Caucasians, and people were saying, well, okay, they'll split the white vote and she'll go down the middle. Well, Zelda, I won 51% of the vote in Chicago, and I won 21 out of the 30 suburban townships. And that made me, I was elected the first African-American, not African-American woman, but first African-American in the long history of Cook County to be the clerk of the circuit court. And Cook County Circuit Court is the second largest court system in the country and probably in the world. So it was a major accomplishment for a little girl that came from the cotton fields of Louisiana. And worked in a factory during my childhood years, during my college years, putting up parts on the paint line, and being from a set of poor and uneducated parents who just taught us to live with the highest of integrity and respect other people, and so it was a major accomplishment, and I was just so blessed to have been elected and have been, and I decided once elected that I needed to make sure that I was using that office for people. So since I've been elected, in addition to doing the statutory responsibilities of the office, I've found different ways to just reach out and help people. I put in place a mortgage foreclosure surplus search because I have millions of dollars that's sitting there in my under my responsibility as a result of the state law that says that if the bank sells your property for more than you owe them, then that money has to be deposited with the clerk of the court, and then those organizations the banks are supposed to let people know. Well, most people have already left those homes, so they don't have a foreign address, and so I put a system out so people can search my website and find out whether or not they have money coming to them, and a lot of people have been able to retrieve their money without having to get an attorney, because I also put the forms out there telling you how you can come to court to do it yourself. And then a lot of people have unclaimed child support checks because they moved, don't leave a foreign address. And so I put something out on my website so you can search to see if there's some money coming to you as well because you didn't claim your child support check. And then one of the biggest things that I've done is to put in place the expungement summit and expungement services. I have a major expungement summit once a year, but my staff go to various expungement seminars and help agencies put on expungement seminars, helping people learn how to get that second chance in life. And sometimes it's a second, maybe third, maybe fourth chance, because a lot of people have a lot of things on their record. When they were young, they were foolish, and then they realize once they get old, they really need to be able to take care of their families. And so we put this expungement summit, and people have been able to get help. I have had people, literally, a gentleman was crying, shedding tears on the parking lot of Jewel, telling me how it changed his life because he was able to take care of his little daughter, and all he ever had wanted to do, he said, was to take care of his little angel. And now he's able to do that because he has a clean slate, and he was able to get a great job. And it really touches my heart to be able to just simply within the office that I hold to be able to help people.
Oh, wow, what a blessing. And I had no idea that you were an attorney. You just don't know these things about people. You just don't know until you sit and have a conversation. And this is a great lesson in us not to judge people, and you don't know their history. You don't know their background. You don't know anything about them. You're just going by what you heard. And the fact that you have the mortgage foreclosure unit and the expungement summit. Now, you said that your aim was to help people. Well, I can tell you that from the statistics in Chicago, you have helped many people who are unable to help themselves, and you provide a valuable service to those who are in need of it. What would you say has been your greatest challenge in getting this information out and making people aware?
Probably the greatest challenge is that the governmental offices do not have advertising and marketing budgets. So getting that word out, having to be on shows like yours or trying to get on radio shows or doing television during my expungement time is the only avenue that we really have. I mean, we print flyers and we put them out all over the city, and we have our Facebook and social media efforts. But I just know that we have not been able to reach all the people as it relates to the expungement summit. But what's been really good is that I've done this so consistently for so many years. I've done it for 14 years. And because I have done this for 14 years, people, if they don't hear about my expungement summit, at least they hear about the fact that they should be looking into getting their records clean, and that there is hope, and they can actually, there's a place that they can come. And many times they'll ask me, questions while I'm just out in the street, and I'm able to guide them to services, and they come to our office. And so it's been a challenge getting the word out. But because I took this ball and just ran with it over the years, people at least have found out that that this second chance is available to them. Because before I went into office, I had never heard about people being able to get their records expunged, and most people have not. And so therefore, they just simply need to know that this is available to them. And so I have just been happy to be a catalyst for it. I have actually been able to go around the country talking about it. The National Association of County Officials requested that I put together an expungement summit guide because people around the country, county officials around the country, recognize the importance of helping people, because if you don't help individuals, and that goes to helping to keep them from recidivating back into jail, help them to not commit crimes in your community so that they can get a job and take care of themselves. Because people realize that if you don't help people, then 9 times out of 10 they're going to hurt the community in some way. And you might as well help themselves so that they, secondly, will not be a burden on the taxpayers, because they're gonna have to be serviced in some way, form, or fashion.
And speaking of taxpayers, we're going to get to that in just a second, but right now we've got a commercial break coming up in the 8:30 hour. If you just joined us, you're listening to Chicago's own clerk of the Circuit Court, Dorothy Brown, and you're listening to The Female Solution, and we're going to bring you some very important messages, and we'll be right back, so you stay close.
Oh, man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
Oh, man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456. and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Wanda Carter, producer of the Woman to Woman TV show. We'll be joining the Female Solution radio show on Sundays from 5 to 7 p.m. with a panel of women discussing everything from romance to finance in order to find solutions to the daily challenges we face. So get a pen, call a friend, and stay tuned in to the Woman to Woman show with Wanda Carter on the Female Solution radio show. Sundays, 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to join the conversation, and let's talk about it, woman to woman.
Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul, whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi. This is Lois with Trash calling. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Listen, I am really happy to be alive today, but I have some questions for the Honorable Dorothy Brown.
Yes, I'm here. How are you today?
Oh, I'm speaking to Dorothy. Okay, hi, Dorothy. Reverend Lois Trask, I was wondering if you remembered your very first scheduler when you came into office.
Yes, Lois, how are you?
I'm fine. I was assigned by the late Squire Lance. Do you remember?
Yes,
However,
you work with yes.
You recall when I would send you your schedule every morning along with a prayer, a scripture, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so I haven't heard you say anything about how God got you into office with all the work I did for you. And then I was wondering, the fact that you and my second husband graduated from college together, and I haven't received any child support from him since you've been in office.
Wow.
I have this case of that my mother was killed by Loyola Hospital. I have a judgment. And I'm wondering, on the docket number 02L14299, and you and Judge Maddox changed the docket number to 07L1342 and stopped my family and everything after my parents had been killed. You all are sponsoring corruption in our court system. I worked for you because I thought we were going to have a better system. You're taking child support money from the parents, the fathers, who are struggling to pay the state, and they're not getting the money. So what are they paying you for? You have a check coming in automatically, and if anything that comes out of these children's mouths should not go into your pocket. God
and
did
absolutely,
not put you in office.
Lois, it absolutely. Give me an opportunity.
I'm sorry, but I worked hard for you, and you never gave me a dime in my life.
Go on, darling. Go on. So you were a volunteer. Well, you
never given me a dime in my life. But you've done these dirty things to me, and I helped you. That's all I got to say. And I'm so sorry, but I will be campaigning against you, Doris. I'm going to give some free services to somebody else, and God knows I love you, but I thought you were a woman of God. But I found out
you too,
you're just a crook like everybody else. Bye.
Lois, I love you too. And you were a friend of Mr. Lance. He's now deceased. However, I don't get involved in court cases. I don't know if you thought I could, but I could not. And that's between yourself, your lawyer, and your judge. So whatever the judge makes
you in your office,
do,
don't lie now. I met with you about this situation, so don't lie to the public.
Yes, you did.
I have a tape recording of being in your office, so don't lie.
Yes.
Don't lie.
I met with you several times. I'm not lying. I do not get involved in cases. I cannot.
Yes, you did too. I have you on tape, Dorothy. I have 3 deacons that came in your office with you.
Lois,
you're lying, Dorothy. In the name of Jesus, you're lying.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Thank you.
Okay.
But I will be campaigning against you.
God bless you, Lois. And I'm glad you called in because people need to know. Because a lot of times people do come to my office or call into my office thinking that I can deal with their court cases. I am just the record keeper. I keep the record that the judge makes a decision of, and people's attorneys have to make their arguments, or sometimes they represent themselves. And if they, however that turns out, then I will keep that record, but I cannot, as the clerk of the court, deal with someone's case. So I appreciate you, and Lord, absolutely, it was only because of the Lord that I am in this office. I was the clerk of the circuit court, and it's through the Lord that I will be mayor of the city of Chicago. Can't hear.
Dollars in your campaign. Did we just lose somebody there? Grand. Dorothy, are you there? Well, I'm not sure what happened to Dorothy. You are live on the air on the Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Our guest today is Dorothy Brown, who is the county clerk of Illinois, Cook County Clerk.
Zelda, can you hear me?
Yes, live and clear. Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Very good. I am here. I was having problems hearing you as well. Well, thank you for having me on, Zelda. It's a great show. You're doing a great job. I've always enjoyed listening to you on the radio. You are an icon in the city of Chicago.
Wow. Never heard that one before, but thank you. And to address the question, I don't know if you heard me or not, very briefly about the polls leading up to the mayoral election and how the numbers solidifies Dr. Wilson's petition, because Thursday he had a press conference that showed he was leading in the polls, especially with the numbers as it relates to registered voters. And I believe the number was 12,500 that you only needed, and he had 52,000. So my question to you is, what is it? And it takes a considerable amount of money to run a campaign, and I've been told that it takes upward a budget of $500,000 to $1 million to run a campaign, and resources tell us that you only have $5,000 in your budget. Or is that correct information? And if so, how can you run a budget, a campaign on that amount of money?
Well, yeah, obviously we have a lot of months left to go, and we have a lot of events that we have planned, and we have a lot of people that are working to raise money for us. So you can't look at something in one day in time and say that that is the money. But of course, let me say this, Zelda. When I run as clerk of the court, it was by the grace of God, not by money. And so yes, you need money, but you also need to, because I have run for office and been in office for the last 18 years, the reason you need more money is you don't have name recognition. I have name recognition, and also another thing is to get people to have goodwill. And I have great goodwill in Chicago. So everywhere I go, and I have great recognition from the standpoint of people knowing who I am. Everywhere I go, people are stopping me, asking me to help me with my petition, telling me that they're supporting me, joining up with my campaign. So, so we feel very confident in being able to run this race and get it done and get it done successfully. So, petitions started, August 28th, and today is, 9/17. So we have, about 60 more days, and we've been doing very well in getting and people signing. People are not, people know us already, so they're signing our petitions. And the polls that count are on Election Day, February 26, 2019. Those are the polls that count. The important thing for people to recognize is that I'm a person that have the background, academic acumen from the standpoint of being not only an attorney that can deal with the legal aspects of the office of mayor, because we're talking about the third largest city in the United States of America, and probably the ninth largest government, even in the whole world, from what I understand. Now, so we need someone in that office that already has some experience in running government offices, number one, not just government offices, running multi-million-dollar. And then I have even worked at the Chicago Transit Authority as a general auditor, making sure that there are controls in place for those billions of dollars of assets. So I've managed huge operations. And then I was one of only two senior managers that managed the audit of the entire city of Chicago for a number of years. And then with my financial acumen, I'm going to be able to not just listen to the kind of things that the people that are in place, that are the finance people, but be able to give them recommendations and a vision. So you can't just have people that you can say you're going to bring in the best to help you. That's not good enough. You have to have a vision, and you have to actually bring something to the table, because people can tell you anything and lead you down the wrong path. As clerk of the court, when I took office, that office was operating in a deficit, and I put in place financial things that were able to bring it into the black. Dealing with having my computer to analyze all of the revenue sources within that office to see what kind of controls that are in place to make sure that we're collecting that which we're supposed to collect. Has it been are the funds or the fees moving at the same level to cover the costs that we have? Went to various conferences and looked at other court systems to see how they were raising funds, and had to come back and do the heavy lifting and get laws changed. So it's a major things that have to take place to run an organization like the city of Chicago. But the most important part about me is that I have a long history of demonstrating that I have the desire to just simply help people. You can have the academic preparation, yes, you can have the background, but if you don't have a heart for the people, if you don't care about what's happening with the educational system for the children and of all the children of the city of Chicago, and want to raise that academic level so that they can all be able to compete globally, and also about the economic development in this city and how we need to change it so that we are producing and creating jobs for individuals. So our people have alternatives to crime, and then have someone that have some thoughts on how to bring the crime rate down in the city of Chicago. Those are the kind of things that I'm working on, that I have the ability to do. And so that's why I feel that, number one, I'm the best person to be mayor of the city of Chicago, and number two, that we're going to make this happen because people deserve to have the best. And my theme is hope for all Chicago, all of Chicago, regardless of your race, creed, color, where you live, hope for all Chicago.
And what do you say to the other candidates who are running? Because the general consensus is that everybody wants to help, but not everyone is qualified to help. And there are too many people in the race to make it help in order to split the vote. What do you think about that, all the other candidates that are running?
People have to make their own decisions, but you made a powerful statement. Everybody wants to help, but everyone is not qualified to help. And so we need to take a look at, a serious look at the fact that we have someone here that has been prepared, that has been groomed, and that not only has the background and the experience, but also has a heart for the people. That's what we need. We need a full package. We can want to help, but we don't necessarily have the ability to help. And we are in a position now that we can make a difference in this city. I feel that our parents should not be struggling for a few magnet school slots. Every school should be at a magnet school level. We need to shore up this academic preparation of our children so that they can have alternatives to crime. Every child should have pre-K. The special education children, each one of them should have an individualized education plan. We need to have our teachers need to make they need to make salaries so that they can feel proud of themselves, and really want to come to school and teach our children, and so that they don't feel, and also that their pensions are protected. So we need someone that has an understanding of those kind of things to make sure that we are putting new revenue ideas into play to be able to stabilize the pension of our teachers. You should not be, even the regular city employees should not be concerned about whether or not they're going to be able to retire and live a decent life. And so those are the kind of things that I've been talking about on my listening tours, and I would like to announce that I'm having another listening tour. I've been going around this city since June, and I have been all over. I've been south, north, Little Village on last week, on the west side. I'm going to be on the southeast side on tomorrow night, September 18th, at 91st and Jeffrey, 9101 South Jeffrey. I'm going to be there at the Urban Community University. I will be talking about helping people to understand who I am and why I feel that that I am the person that has the background and the experience to be the mayor of the city of Chicago, and also listen to the community. See, people know best, and I have been going around listening to the community, finding out their concern, and getting great suggestions from them as to how we can best make a difference in this city. So I'm inviting everyone. That's starting at 6:30 p.m. At Urban Community University, 9101 South Jeffrey. The parking is in the Robert Black parking lot. They have a contract with them that's right across the street. And so come out and let me hear your concerns.
Okay, we've got about a minute. I need you to wrap this up, Dorothy. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you just joined in, the Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Our special guest was Cook County Clerk Dorothy Brown, who is not only helping us with mortgage foreclosures and expungements and things of that nature and other city services, but running for mayor as always. On a closing note, can you give us, in less than 60 seconds, how is it that you are able to run against Dr. Willie Wilson, who has been cleared of all these felony charges for doing things that he didn't do, and who has been helping the community for the last 30 years and making sure that people stay out of jail, don't lose their homes and things of that nature. How do you think that you will fare against him in about 30 seconds?
Well, I'll be faring against everyone. Dr. Wilson, I helped him start that program 2 years ago. It's just been 2 years that he's been doing that bail program. I helped him. My office actually helped him do that, and which is wonderful that he's done it. And I think maybe a few months that he's been doing the taxes for the last, less than a year. But I started my expungement program over 14 years ago. I didn't start it because I planned to run for mayor. I started because I wanted to help people. And so we're going to continue to run this race. Regardless of who's in this race, we're going to continue to run because I have the academic preparation and the experience and the heart to help people. You can go to dorothyformayor.com, and sign up to volunteer. And you can also donate to our campaign. We hope for all Chicago. That's what it's all about.
All right, Dorothy. Well, thank you so very much. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you for being a guest, and thank you for listening on blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution. I'm Zelda Speaks, your host. Today's show was dedicated to the Mayman family, who is in Mississippi. The special prayers go out to the Mayman family, my God sister Dolores, who just lost her brother Melvin, and her other brother, big brother Robert Lee Mayman, who is known as Wanky. He is in critical condition as well. And we've all got to make a transition, and it's a hard thing to do, but just keep in mind that there is something on the other side. It must be something somewhere good, because nobody's ever come back to tell us anything different. Next week, join us for Mama AZ, grounding, how to get grounded, how we can do whatever it is that we need to do to make this place on earth a better place to live. No one is going to come and save us. We must save ourselves. Be sure and get your copy of On Air magazine, because we are on air everywhere. I'm sure you've seen the one with Dr. Judge Joe Brown on it. The upcoming issue will have Dr. Willie Wilson, so be sure you go to onairmagazine.com and go to The Female Solution. Stay on purpose, stay empowered. Stay tuned to your next Monday morning mindfulness next Monday right here on The Female Solution. Make it a great day. Well, thanks for listening.
South Africa, Bonga, Senegal, Geret, Kenya, Asante, Israel, Toda, Pakistan, Shukriya, Afghanistan, Tashakkur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
Come visit Subaru of Rochester and be the first to own the biggest Subaru SUV ever made. The all-new 3-row 2019 Ascent features spacious, flexible seating for up to 8. The Ascent is the first Subaru to include EyeSight Driver Assist Standard, which features pre-collision braking, blind spot detection, and more. The Ascent also comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Subaru of Rochester, where we make sure you love what you drive. Visit Subaru of Rochester today, located across the shops on Main, or check us out online at SubaruofRochesterMN.com.